Hi everyone, we're just going live and we're waiting for a few people to join us. We have another really special guest with us today, and we're looking for a few viewers. And as soon as we have a few, we'll start. So I suppose we'll wait for a couple more minutes before we start the show. Cool, I suppose we'll just start today's show and let's see as viewers join. We'll also have this show up on our YouTube channel as an episode, and we'll, of course, be doing a lot of interesting short format content after the interview with Tim. So, thanks everyone for joining who all did, and we'll be starting today's episode right about now with Tim Halderson. Thank you so much for joining us today, Tim, and it's great to have you on Voice of Crypto show today. I'll just briefly introduce the show. Hi, everyone. Welcome to another super exciting episode of Voice of Crypto's podcast, where we get distinguished guests from the Web3, crypto, and blockchain space. And today we have with us Tim. He is the CEO and co founder of Lunar Strategy, which is a crypto marketing firm, crypto and Web3 marketing firm. It has been in the space since 2017, and we will hear a lot more about Lunar Strategy and Tim and his role as the CEO at the firm, as well as what his views are about marketing in general and especially in Web3. So the stage is all yours, Tim. I would love for you to tell our viewers what you do.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, as a marketing firm, we work with various DeFi, GameFi, and NFT projects. And what we do is that we decide to collaborate with genuine projects that are building or growing something that provides value to users, and then we partner with them and help them to go to market. And yeah, we have been doing that since I got in personally to crypto in 2017, and since 2019 have, together with the team at Lunar Strategy, worked with about 150 projects, and it has been everything from taking them to the market to launching various campaigns to building communities, especially in the DeFi niche has been a very strong one the last year, and we have worked with many very good brands within that niche, some top 100 coins, and yeah, it's super happy to be here today to share my thoughts on DeFi growth and a bit where we are heading.
Super, really excited to have you here and talk about all of those exciting things. But first, I think my first question to you would be, how did you come up with the idea of this marketing firm? And back in 2017, I think the Web3 space was itself a rather new concept for most of the masses. And yet you decided to come up with the idea of a marketing firm that is specific to the Web3 crypto space. How did you come up with the idea? How did you meet the founders? And
Yeah.
how did the idea of Luna Strategy take off from day one?
Yeah. So back in 20, so I've been in marketing now for the last, I think, 8 years almost. And so back then I was working in marketing. Marketing was my day job, and I was doing crypto. And as a side business, I was actually mining some Ethereum and Ethereum Classic back in 2017. So I was doing that like as a side business, or like as a side investment, but my main work was in marketing. Then in 20, because 2017 was, or 2018 was kind of where the crypto market went down, and we were in the like the bear market, and 2019 as well. But then towards the middle of 2019, then I got more and more requests from crypto products that needed help with setting up marketing campaigns on Google, Facebook, SEO campaigns. So that was me and Sean, another co-founder, that we were working like as consultants in the beginning. And then we started blogging about it on the Lunar Strategy blog, like 5 tips to launch your campaigns on Twitter, 5 tips on Google. And then we started to get a lot of organic traction. And then in about 2020, we decided all in on crypto. This is the only thing that we will do. And then we actually we had to get rid of some old clients that were not in the crypto niche, because we were like, we are going all in on crypto, DeFi, and the Web3 ecosystem. And then it was like organically coming in from our blog, Twitter, LinkedIn, podcasts, a little bit from everywhere. And then since then, we have been growing the team. At the moment, we're about 15 people. Last year, we were a little bit more. At one point we were like 18 to 20, but then we had to downsize the team a little bit in Q4 when the market went as it did. Yeah, so that's kind of the story how we got into it, and I think it was a good move to move into crypto early. And at the moment, at each time we're helping between 15 to 20 Web3 DeFi projects on various marketing activities. And yeah, super happy to help great projects grow, because we have always been in that situation where we have the fortune to be able to say no to a lot of clients that are maybe not genuine, or they are not as truthful as they should to the community. So yeah, we can pick like what products that we want to collaborate with. So we have a great portfolio of products that we are helping to grow.
Since we're on that, could you tell us a few products or projects that you have closely worked with? And even if you don't want to extensively talk about the marketing campaigns that you built for them,
Yeah.
maybe if we can talk about those top layers that, sort of really show up on your portfolio.
Yeah, so one in the DeFi niche, like privacy, is Oasis Protocol. They are they partnered with Meta, and we help them with driving various campaigns. Game Starter, another launch pad within kind of the gaming DeFi niche. They are one of the leading ones, and we help them to take 2 products to the market. Exchanges, we have worked with probably or close to 10 different exchanges. Some of them are some of the leading. NFT space, we have various projects. On our website, we have a quite long case study with, I think, 15 different projects that we have worked with, going into some of the scope and some of the details as well. But then from my previous work, then like this was before then. We also worked with some really big like McAfee and Cision, and yeah, like some really big traditional companies, and that was before we moved into the crypto niche.
So, how important is marketing for companies? And I mean, I'm sure this is a question that you get asked a lot, but and we of course know that the answer is that it is really important. But if you could just decode that and sort of highlight why exactly a great company or a great brand needs great marketing.
Yeah. So you can have the best product in the world, but if nobody sees it, then you're wasting an opportunity to help the ecosystem grow and become better. So marketing is the fundamental way of telling your story well, and then finding various channels to be able to distribute channel to the masses. And marketing, like you can see, like traditional marketing has a similar approach, but the biggest difference between Web2 marketing and Web3 marketing is kind of the way you view the customers or the community. Because in Web2, let's say you are selling a pair of shoes, and then somebody clicks on the ad, and then they buy the shoes, and then they wear them or something afterwards. If you approach crypto or NFTs in the same way, what will happen when the launch actually happens is that a lot of people will sell. They will dump the token, they will sell the NFTs because they do not know why they are part of your community. They do not know like what mission you're on and what you're building as a project. So that's why like marketing is about storytelling and reaching the right the right community and the right people. So for a project, it's important to do it right as well, because you can spend tens of millions on a launch, but then if you don't have a long-term plan, then it's a big chance that it goes down afterwards. So you need to view the marketing from like a long-term perspective, and just focusing on building a great project with a great brand and a great reputation is kind of in the long term the best marketing. But it's very hard to get out into the market, even though you have a great product, to get out there and get heard. That's what we do and what marketing is for.
No, that does make a lot of sense. And while you did mention the importance of communities in Web3, and how in Web2 the way people marketed and with the objectives that they marketed their products or services was a lot different than it is in Web3. So could you also stress upon the importance of communities and how you as a marketing firm interact with communities of your clients?
Yeah. So of course, like there's a lot of legal reasons that comes into crypto, but how I like to view the community members and the community members and the holders of a token or a coin or an NFT is kind of like as stakeholders in the project, or shareholders, or they're part of the club, or but they're still much closer than just being a customer, because they kind of decide where the product will go, and that is either by, if they're unhappy, then they will sell and they will show it in that the price will go down. So the community of a project is super important to keep happy in the long term in order to be able to grow a project. And the community is a very good utility that helps with this. And that means that people, let's say people that are holding a certain token, they know that they can go to the Discord server and get help with some questions, because they're part of the same community and the same tribe. So the community is kind of what keeps a project up, as well as you can also from a project's perspective, you can view it as a new marketing arm. let's say you're doing a new launch and you want to distribute the message, then you can first get it out to the community and then they can distribute it for you. So from one side, it could also be viewed like as a marketing arm, as a growth arm for your project's long-term growth.
No, that does make a lot of sense. So, if you have to talk about some of the most exciting communities, and these are not just the projects or products or firms that you've worked with, but we know for the fact that certain communities are really close knit and that they really hype the launches right before they're about to happen, or airdrops, and there's this entire hype built around those communities. And we know some of the top, like meme coins, have their own really strong communities. So what are some of the most exciting communities for you to watch from a marketing perspective? And there are certain traits that each communities, I think, sort of have. So what are those traits that you've sort of found out in those web3 communities, and what are the
Yeah.
communities?
So what you see on Twitter is that there is kind of like a community of people that jumps from community to community, and they stay just as long as the project is going up. And those are the people that went to Pepe, to Arbitrum, and then they're jumping around between different tokens, and then they're just so that's what one community, which is definitely important to have. It's important for a project to be like on good terms and understand the way that the crypto market moves and what's happening. I think some of the projects that you see have been doing best in the bear market are the ones that are in different ways linked to the real world. And that's, for example, Gary V with his product. Like for each NFT you hold, you get tickets to VCon. So that's like a very good like a project. Same goes for uh, projects that are built around utility. Like you can see some projects that have been doing really well. It's like Binance. So like Binance, the Binance community is very strong. Why? Because of course there is utility to the coin because it first of all, Binance buys back and burns tokens. You have reduced fees. You can get there's like utilities and value that you get from holding the coin on every single day. So those products has been doing well. A lot of the products that are based around hopes of solving things in the future or hopes, those have not been doing so well. So I think that the communities right now that are doing really well are the ones that are built around substance and built around value and built around uh, improving like the daily lives of some people in one way or another. And that can either be on the NFT side, memberships, access to certain events, or linked in that way, or on the token side, coins that are actually on a day-to-day basis providing utility and a good reason why you should hold it.
Makes a lot of sense. So, a follow-up question to that. Now, since we talked about some of the most exciting communities, I think the question that arises in my mind is was there a particular campaign? If you look at some of the top marketing campaigns that were executed in the Web3 space, and when I think of a few, I think Crypto.com's marketing, both offline and online. And I remember how that made headlines when they had, I think, no, that was a meme coin. They had buses across UK with their flex or hoardings or something like that. And I remember Crypto.com made headlines last year. And then there are those big announcements that happen throughout the year where crypto Web3 firms partner with big sporting events, and those make headlines. So if you have to talk about some of the most exciting campaigns, marketing campaigns that happened in the Web3 space, what would those be? And also talk about the campaigns that sort of made a lot of impact in terms of, let's say, community building, or just sort of an impact in terms of even sales or branding.
Yeah. So there's a bit of a difference between bull market campaigns and bear market campaigns. Because you saw crypto.com actually had to cancel some of the big contracts to, I think it was FIFA, the World Cup, and they actually had to go back on a lot of campaigns that they had planned because they run out of run out of money to
Yes.
invest.
Yeah.
So that's kind of one part of it. Um, where it's important to not just spend because you have a lot of cash as a project.
Yeah.
I think the most successful growth campaigns ever for all projects all time high is like referral uh, referrals, because that's kind of
Mm-hmm.
how Coinbase grew, how Binance grew, and
Yeah.
basically all the large exchanges. Because you, uh, let's say, you get $10 for each person that you sign up, and then it's a lot of influencers that run the campaigns, and you invite friends, and I think those are like the all-time high, most effective marketing campaigns that you have been running.
Hmm.
Mm. And then I think on being active on Twitter, you see some of the
Yeah.
big ones doing it really well, as well as having the founders that are
Hmm.
very active. And that is the best example is Binance and their CEO active on Twitter every single day, uh, just pushing the same message every single day out there. When it comes to like smaller projects, what we often use is leadership marketing. So you have like a leadership board, and then you, as a community, you add a lot of tasks that you need help with. This could be to create Twitter threads, create Twitter content, interact in Discord, and basically you come up with a list of 10 tasks that you want everybody in the community to do, and then you reward them for doing so. And this is what smaller projects can do, and what we set up for. We have probably set it up for 50 projects over the last years. So a tool like Sealy is very powerful for smaller projects to be able to get a lot of get a lot of impact with your marketing investment, and you are leveraging the excitement of your community to push the growth and push the campaigns forward. So that's probably what I would say is as one of the best ones.
So you did initially mention how marketing in a bull market is very different from marketing in a bear market, and I would love for you to shed a little bit of light on that and how you guys ensure that for your clients.
Yeah, so it's there are upsides and downsides of both markets. In a bull market, you if you do a campaign, it can take on like and grow very very quickly. But you also pay a premium for all ad spaces because the demand for ad spaces are so high. So, like for an article, maybe you pay 50% more. For an influencer, you pay 25-30% more. And for cost per click on a lot of the good places, it's also they double their prices because they know that 10 people will be waiting to buy that ad space. In a bear market, you can negotiate good deals. You can get much lower prices for various campaigns, and there's also less noise. But people are not as excited, which is the downside. So it's easier to spread the message, but it's harder to get people to take action on the message or like to make a large investment. So it's kind of like a combination between the two. You always like talk about building in the bear market.
Hmm.
That's a very powerful marketing. If
Yeah.
you're like we are building, we are building and we are getting ready, and then you have like some marketing going, like some campaigns, but you just focus on building, that shows to the community that you're a responsible project and that you're a responsible project. So that can also be a quite good story to get out there, and
Yeah.
that's a good like way of growing in the bear market.
Yeah. Uh, Tim, do you also really closely work with influencers? And I'm sure you do. So, how has influencer marketing changed across the last few years? And this is basis the question, basis the thought that I'm pretty sure in the last couple of years, the number of Web3 influencers that have existed grew, and there's just been a boom in influencers, Web3 influencers. So, how has marketing around that evolved?
Um, so there is a lot of different nuance to it. So on one level, it's people that got their influence in the Web2 world, and then they moved into the Web3 world. And that means that a large percentage of their audience is not Web3 Web3 native. And then
Yeah.
there's people that grew their influence in the Web3 world, and they have a very strong community there, and they often
Mm,
have more influence within the actual ecosystem.
yeah.
We have worked with probably closer to like 500 different voices on TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube.
Hmm.
Um, and the key is um, to basically to make sure that you can reach the people with actual influence. And how you do that, we use a tool called NFT Inspect, which is a very powerful tool to be able to reach people on Twitter. So you basically analyze who follows that influencer, and then you can calculate the global reach, which is the
Mm,
total reach that a certain influencer can get. So
okay.
it's there's a lot of aspects to it, but one of the key parts is like who has the real influence and who reaches the right people.
Got it. So this platform NFT Inspect, is this something that is created by Luna Strategy or?
No, it's a third party tool from another great website that we uh,
Oh, okay. Good resource, I'm guessing. Cool.
yeah.
So, I when I was checking out your LinkedIn earlier today, I also saw somewhere that you did quite a bit of SEO marketing, and I think the issue that most of the Web3 and correct me if I'm wrong, most of the Web3 entrepreneurs face is that they're still trying to while their audiences would be more Web3 centric, their mass audiences or the way in which they're trying to appeal are more centralized, say through Google. So, which is why SEO, I think SEO parameters really matter even for decentralized organizations or
Yeah.
decentralized publishers. So, um, you as someone who's been an SEO specialist, do you think that eventually with the sort of decentralization and Web3 taking over, there would be a chance that there would be an ecosystem which would sort of surpass all of this and would be a lot more decentralized? Or, I mean, is there a vision that you have for which could, sort of surpass SEOs and all the decentralized sort of shackles that are?
Yeah, it's always a challenge because when it comes to a lot of these decentralized projects, it's
Mm,
always a big challenge because people will try to game the system and people will try to do various things to get around it. On the SEO side, like what I view it as is also like as a way of provide content marketing for your
right.
community. So what we often do with SEO is that we leverage it as as a resource that we can use to share within the community. So let's say we create a guide around something, or we create this, or we create that, but
Yeah.
it has like a double effect. And
Hmm.
in that way, it doesn't really matter if it's like if it's on Google or some other decentralized part.
Yeah, okay. So I also have a question around revenue, and how it differs in a bull market versus a bear market for a marketing firm like yours.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Uh, so the from our side, it has been like a, of course, what we do right now is that we kind of work with little bit more clients, but
Yeah.
let's say the average client that we work with, we do a little bit less for, because it's
Yeah.
not so intense.
Hmm.
So I would say, like, from our side, it's
Yeah.
quite similar, but on average, each project that we work with are doing less intense marketing, apart
Yeah.
from some that are, for example, maybe doing an ICO, or they're doing a launch, and that's more
Mm.
intense. But I would say that our average client that we work with are not as intense marketing, and they are running the marketing on more low speed.
Got it. So, moving a little bit away, drifting a little bit away from marketing, I would now like to speak about decentralized finance and how you, as someone who's closely watched the space sort of move, go mainstream rather. So, what are your expectations from decentralized finance as a space this year? And I think one quarter already down, and 1 month into the second quarter down. There's been quite a bit of ripples across the market, but I mean, what would you expect from the market this year?
Yeah, so decentralized finance it got a bit of a hit last year by, let's call them, like, fake DeFi projects that were like centralized DeFi projects, which
Yeah,
kind of removes the full value of it. And it was crypto companies that were like posing as DeFi projects, for example,
yeah,
Celsius, that went down quite bad.
yeah,
And then there was a large percentage of DeFi projects that uh, were providing yield in their own native token.
yeah,
And then the native token basically had massive inflation. So a lot of developers relearned what inflation actually is. So what you see right now is that there is a lot of value for DeFi, and we have kind of gone through the first testing phase, which was a lot of like inflation, or it was like centralized DeFi. I think what's coming next is where it's more linked to the real world. So stable coins are growing, stable
mm,
assets like DeFi gold, uh, for example, treasuries
yeah,
and bonds that are crypto. And I think that we're taking more and more the finance that way. But I don't. Uh, and some products that are doing like smart tokenomics,
mhm,
and build like a strong foundation. But like,
mm,
I'm very optimistic of where we're going. But we have tried a lot and failed a lot as a
yeah.
general market, and now is the time to be smart and to build, yeah, like really good products forward.
Yeah, so we usually go ahead and ask people what your top expectations from this year are and all of those things. But I'm not going to ask you what your top expectations or predictions for this year are. But I do want to ask whether you're really excited about a certain tech or a certain change that you think would um, revolutionize the market. And I know a lot of people are excited about the convergence of AI and blockchain, or AI and crypto, or AI
Yeah.
and metaverse. And there's so much happening on the lines of AI. So, is there something that you are really excited about?
I'm very excited about AI, but I could talk for 2 hours about it, and I have to go here in a minute or two.
Yeah,
So AI is something that super excited. We are
yeah,
all in on the AI train. But what I'm mostly excited about is to see like what crypto's reaction to the bank failures will be,
Mm,
because that's kind of the big one. Like you're understanding once again, like the banks doesn't have your money in that. They have 10% in cash, and then now a
yeah,
lot of them have basically been gambling with your money, same as
yeah.
FTX. And
Mm,
a lot of them will be bailed out or bought up, or not anything will happen. But the banks is like a very sophisticated, uh,
right.
like a little bit like a Ponzi.
Yeah,
So I'm very excited to see like what will happen in the crypto world, and I do
yeah,
really like that Binance and some of the biggest exchanges are leading forward with proof of reserves, and basically showing all of the funds that you have in the bank.
yeah. No, makes a lot of sense. And well, we would love for you to speak about AI for 2 hours, but I think that's something that we would reserve for later. And we'd love to have you another time on the same platform, Tim. And this session was really amazing. Do you have any final closing thoughts before we wrap the session up?
No, super happy to be here, and I think what Voice of Crypto is doing is very important, especially in the bear market, having on guests and talking about important topics. Always happy to come back and have a longer discussion around DeFi, AI, crypto, and growth. But yeah, super nice to be here, and thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for joining today. See you, and big shout out to Tim and Luna Strategy. Please go ahead and follow Tim on all the social media platforms and do the same with Luna Strategy and Voice of Crypto. See you next time, everyone. Thanks a lot for joining. Bye bye.
Like, thanks so much, everybody.